Hey folks, and welcome back to the channel. It's been a good couple of years since I last did a kit review, and with this lovely gorgeous weather, which I'm squinting against heavily, I kind of felt like it was time for another. So what I thought now is I would do a video based on my wearables, what has changed over the last couple of years, what I wear now that I have changed to from the original multicam that I used to roll 2 or 3 years ago. I'm going to start off with the BDUs, and then I'm going to progressively work through the protective gear that I wear, and then through some of the more utility side of things. So let's get straight into it. So the first part of it is the BDUs themselves. I use a PenCott camo, the PenCott Wildwood camo, which is this one right here. In the UK it is extremely effective in the very, very green areas that we tend to play in. As you remember from the last video, I used to wear pretty much complete multicam, your average multi-chav. As much as we mock multi-chav, there are portions of the year in the UK where multicam is very, very effective, and that's mostly in the sort of autumn, winter, when you've got lots of browns. But for the rest of the year, multicam it's not enough green, too much brown. For that time of the year, pretty much we're talking spring, summer, autumn for the most part, the PenCott Wildwood, and to some extent the green zone, which I'll get onto a little bit later, is very, very effective. In terms of this top itself, it's very comfortable. It keeps you quite cool even in heat like this. If I had one negative about it, it would be these panels on the side, which are designed to sort of stretch, to give you a bit of give, which is helpful when you're a bit of a chubby fella like me. But it does allow them to put mesh armpits in, which are incredibly useful for keeping you cool. But the fabric itself overall is quite hard, quite tough, but also does keep you exceptionally cool. So very, very, very good. Plenty of pockets, plenty of Velcro. It's great. The cuffs themselves are hook and loop in order to tighten them up, which is great, and it uses actual buttons up the breast. I went for the same when it came to trousers as well. So again, same pattern as what you find on the top. Keeps you very well concealed. They have nice big pockets, extra wide pockets which are designed for 5.56 mags. I've also got some that are designed for pistol mags, so can actually store some magazines in your trousers. I have a inner belt for my battle belt, which I'll get onto a little bit later, which is hook and loop, corded ripstop at the bottom, so you can tighten them up based on your preference. Just very, 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 very good, very durable. When we're carrying on down the front of what I'm wearing on my body, we're going to start moving into protection. And one of the things I noticed, I always had a predilection for hiding behind full cover. I didn't like taking knees, didn't like going prone. Full height cover, I wasn't overly interested. That sometimes restricted quite where I'd managed to get into position to take people out. As I play now, which is mostly as DMR, I decided that I needed some knee pads. Then I read a few reviews on the Viper Tactical knee pads. The reviews were pretty good, so I decided to splurge on a pair. They're not expensive. I've had them for about 4 or 5 months. They are cracking. For the price, they are very, very good. I've not once had them slip. They have a handy little rubberized pad right there in the centre. Stops them from slipping up and down on your knee. For those who do struggle, you can cross the straps at the back, and that helps it stay on more securely. I found myself not needing that, but they slide on via a buckle system where you have a larger hole there, slide it over the nub and pull it down, and it locks in place. Absolutely great. These things are brilliant. They're tough, they're effective. Heartily recommend them. Carrying on with protection wise, hat. So you may have noticed it's a slightly different pattern. Well, the BDUs are Wildwood. This is PenCott Green Zone. 2 reasons why I have PenCott Green Zone as a boonie. One, couldn't find any wildwood ones. It's always the big one. But also the fact that it seems to be very, very effective in the way that it lightens the upper part of my body. But very effective, very, very good at the job. Just that slight shade change makes all the difference. Going down from there, which I forgot to get out of my bag, I then changed eye pro. So you'll remember from the previous video, I was running the Bolly X800 eyes. They got damaged. The lenses were scratched, borrowed them to somebody and they got marked. It was right in eye line. Absolutely horrible. So I started searching for spare lenses. Could not find them. The only option would be to buy a whole new set of X800 eyes, and they're not exactly common anymore. So in the end, I decided to say, stuff it. Let's go down another route. What I went to instead was I went to some actual shooting glasses. So these are IDOgear Stealth, I think Stealth 2 or something. They are Stanag rated. In fact, specifically they are Stanag 2920, and it actually states it, I'll show you that, just inside the rim right there. So these are rated for ballistic wear. They are very, 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 very comfortable. Very, very comfortable, and they struggle to fog. I have managed to get them to fog on a few occasions when it's been very hot, very humid, like it is at the moment. They do come with replaceable, you can take the arms off and you can pop these replaceable sections which have a strap already fitted, but I found that they bent that a little bit too far around my face. It wasn't as comfortable, so I wasn't as much of a fan of those, so I've decided to stick with this. I use the amber lenses mostly because in the UK it's typically dark and dingy. This is not your common weather, so you can pick up effectively more contrast out of what you're looking at. It makes people easier to see in bushes and things like that when either you've got a lot of tree cover like we have at our local site, or the weather's not so great. It also comes with clear set of lenses, and it also comes with shaded set of lenses. The shaded ones are quite reflective. I don't know whether that's something I'm particularly happy about, but you know, I've yet to really try them. I haven't had these long enough to use them in a summer game yet, so when I do, I shall give them a try in the summer and we'll see what they're like. The clear lens is pretty good. The amber lenses, like I say, I'll run those most of the time, but having 3 lenses in the pack was pretty good value for money. It means I can, you know, if I damage one, I can change it out for another. However, I have been hit multiple times in these glasses and they have not got a single mark on them, so I'm very, very impressed with them. They also come with RX inserts. If you need prescription RX inserts done, it comes with the plastic holder for the lenses, which is, again, value for money wise, pretty incredible, and it allows you to use them, you know, if you're a glasses wearer. Next, we're going to talk about the face protection. So some of you may recognise this immediately. Previously, I used to use your typical, you know, partial fabric mesh front face protection. I don't use that anymore. Obviously, it's multicam pattern. It's attached to my helmet. So I decided to get myself some new stuff, and I'd been umming and ahhing about what to get. I'd used a bandana and a snood and things like that for a while. Wasn't happy really with any of them for the amount of protection that they gave me, and when I wasn't wearing anything, I was very loath to get into any close combat just in case. At the end of the day, you can't, when you're an adult, you can't grow your teeth back, yeah, and replacement teeth are very expensive. So in the end, I decided to splurge out. I say splurge, they're not particularly expensive, and get a Delta Mic Face Pro. This is the Mark II, so it's slightly wider grille instead of the much squarer, smaller one that they did on the Mark 1s. This is designed to fit snugly right over your mouth. So if I place that over there, you can hear that I can quite easily talk without any problems at all, purely because of that space that it's given me around my mouth. They keep your pearly whites nice and safe. They have a drawstring, allowing you to tighten it up, and of course it's a very, very nice mesh breathable fabric. Even in weather like this, you don't feel really like you've got it on, so very, very effective at the job. I heartily recommend these. I think, I know there's several companies that do them, and I don't think Delta Mic were the first, but a system like this, amazing, genius. Everybody needs to have something like this if they can help it. So, carrying on with protection. Gloves. These are mechanics fast fit gloves in multicam, and you're probably thinking, oh, he's gone all green zone, wildwood, blah blah blah. Why has he got multicam gloves? I can't find any olive ones there, or any green ones, or any even PenCott ones that I'm happy with. In reality, your gloves, your hands are so small, chances of them actually being seen are pretty slim. Eventually I will find something to replace them, but I've been exceptionally happy with them. Mechanic stuff is cracking. I know a lot of people in Airsoft rave about them full stop, but they are very, very, very good at the job. So now we're actually going to go on to the utility stuff. What I'm going to go into now is the battle belt. So, as many of you would have remembered from the last video, I had a split harness, and the split harness, while functional, didn't look cool. And Airsoft is a fashion show. If you don't look the coolest, you don't win. It's not about the BBs hitting you, it's about looking cool. So as a result, I decided that I wanted to get rid of the split harness. So what I decided to go with was I wanted to get some of that stuff that was on the split harness down off and onto the waist. So I was looking for battle belts. I got mine from AliExpress. I couldn't justify paying for a real steel, especially in the UK where they're harder to get. So instead I went on AliExpress and I got the IDOgear, which I believe now is also available on Amazon UK. But the IDOgear is a nice, simplistic hook and loop attached battle belt with, I believe, what they call the Cobra style buckle, because it sounds cool. A very, very effective belt. Plenty of molly. About 80% of the surface of it is covered in molly. It's a very, very good belt. Very, very good belt. Quite sturdy. The build quality is not bad. It's not amazing, but it's not bad at all. What I have attached to it is 2 M4 mag pouches, and then on the opposite side I have Ammo Max holster for my, in the case of this one, this is for my Glock 19X. It's held on with a belt clip Ammo Max, and it's got one of their new QD attachment points. So I'm going to demonstrate that very quickly. There are 2 tabs just here, which if you squeeze towards the holster, allows you to slide the holster completely off. And that is because this panel here is a male connector, which slides into the female connector, which you attach to the actual holster. That allows you to very, very quickly, very, very easily slide on your holster, and it's rigid. It's not going anywhere. Coupled that with the Ammo Max holster, which I've sort of painted a little bit like kind of like wildwood, just to sort of disguise it a little bit. Very, very, very effective. Very efficient system. It means that with my DTD holster for my Mark 23, I can slide that on, and now I've got the Mark 23 holster ready to go. And if I need to change it again, slide it straight off, and then put the Glock holster straight back on. Very, very useful. Very, very quick, very effective. But the belt itself, absolutely great. Now for the pièce de résistance. This is the Viper Tactical VX buckle up system. I say system because it's multiple components. It's completely modular. You may have seen these advertised around quite a lot of places. In the current format, I have the actual chest plate itself, the chest rig, hooked up to their charger backpack, and it all connects via these funky buckles. So I can pop that buckle out and then pop it straight back in, and away I go. Effectively with these, they are completely and utterly modular. I can just pop very, very easily. I can just pop every single buckle on this, take this front plate off, and away I go. I've bought a dangler for it, which I use as a sort of pseudo dump pouch, pseudo utility pouch, depending on what I need. But the chest plate itself, 3 M4 mag slots, 3 pistol slots, more than comfortable. If you buy one of these, probably the only thing I'd recommend is the actual, if I get to it, the elastic is extremely long. I think when I bought it, they were hanging down to about here. They were a good sort of like 6 inches too long. I had to cut them down, re-tie them up, and basically get them to be a little bit smaller, a little bit tighter in, so that they weren't dangling. It was a bit frustrating when they just flop around all over the place. In terms of what's at the back, so I use the charger pack, which is compatible with all of the Viper VX buckle up systems, and I use that to hold, if you hadn't already spotted here already, my 2 HPA tanks. Keep them secure, wear it on my back. As you see in the video, it's nice and snug, keeps all of my mags right up on my chest area, easy to access. It's as flat as I can possibly get it, so that my riff will sit straight across my chest on its sling without any problems at all. The backpack also has molly just there, so if you wanted to run it on something like a plate carrier, you could do just by hooking it in through the molly. Thoroughly recommend them. They are great and relatively inexpensive as well, but it kind of has everything you need. If you want to change out, you could change the front panel here, and you could swap it out for various panels they do, including the utility pouch, like utility bags. There's one that they do which holds 2 M4 mags, I think a couple of pistol mags, the pistol itself, and a radio. There's loads of different combinations that you come with. There's loads of different attachments to it. Strictly speaking, the pseudo dump pouch I use at the bottom, the dangler, isn't really technically designed for that system, but because of the way it's designed, it does actually work. All in all, just a very cool system. Absolutely love it. So, one last thing. You may have noticed I haven't spoken about boots, and there's a very valid reason for that. Boots are arguably the most important bit of kit outside of iPro and probably Face Pro. The guys over at Storm Riders Airsoft, they did a wonderful little survey fairly recently about airsoft injuries, and the vast majority of the injuries that they have catalogued have all been injuries in and around the ankle area. There's too many people out there that use substandard boots, trainers, or just items that are just not suitable for the games that they play in the places they play them. And with that in mind, I'm not going to sit here and recommend or talk to you about my boots, because my boots fit me. They are ideal for me. When I talk about boots, my recommendations are going to be 3. Always go for boots which will support your ankle well above the ankle itself. So I'm talking stuff that goes up well above the ankle. You need high top boots. Second would be boots that have a good solid tread, full stop. And third would be, if you can get some boots which are as highly water resistant as possible. Now, the ones that I bought basically have all 3 of those. In fact, I've had them for 2.5 years, and the tread on them is still fantastic. They haven't split, they're perfect, they're still water resistant. In fact, I could put my foot halfway up the boot in a puddle and it's not going to soak through. And their eyelets, there's a ton of eyelets on them, they go all the way up to about 2 inches above my ankle joint, maybe 3. They are great, but they are great for me. Go out there, find yourself some boots which are right for you, which have all of the correct attributes that you're going to be looking for in order to avoid rolling, breaking, spraining, whatever your ankle. Because although eye protection is the most important, because you can't regrow a set of eyes, people don't look after their ankles enough. And at the end of the day, all you've got to do is put your foot in an ankle breaker hole and snap. That's it. That's your game day over. That's you not going to play airsoft for about 8 weeks. And with that in mind, that kind of ends it, to be brutally honest with you. If you've got any questions, pop it down in the comments. I'll answer it as best as I can. If there's enough demand out there, I'll try and get more of these out. Guys, I wish you all the best. Have fun, stay safe, and ta-ta for now.
Shut up and sit down.